Grade setup. If you haven't done that, do that first. Watch the other video first, and then we can move on to having our gradebook EGI aligned, right? So we are going to start by going onto our materials section, and it's helpful if you have your I can statement page open. So you're going to need it one more time, right? Now what we're going to do is basically align those categories to the standards so that we can give students an overall grade for that category that would prove a 3, a 4, a 2, a 1, right? And I'll show you what that looks like. So in my experience, it's best to have a folder. So if you notice, again, this is my sandbox course. I have a folder of learning targets here, and that's mental notes to myself, right? And what you're going to do essentially is do the same, right? So I'll show you. You're going to start a folder if you'd like. That's my suggestion to you, is to start a folder that is labeled with the learning targets for whatever it is. So for example, these are for 11 and 12th graders, right? So I would actually rename this learning targets 11 and 12. Okay, so I'm gonna put that there. And then you have the add materials button. You're gonna click on that one. You're going to add assignment, and you are going to create an assignment for every single standard that you have here, right? So what I like to do is use this number here, and in the description box put the I can statement so that students know what they're being assessed on, right? So for example, I have 11 through 12.1. 12.1, and in the description you'll put your I can statements. I can cite text evidence, right? Now yours will look a lot more complete, right? But this is an idea, okay? The second step here, once you do that, you're going to scroll down, you're going to click on the due date, and you're going to make it the last date of your semester. So for me, the last date of the semester is the 14th, I think. At 11:59, we are going to change the category, and we're going to put whatever category, whatever your I can statement is, right? So my I can statement says I can cite evidence. In theory, these two should be the same, but okay. Your factor is of 1, and your scale and your rubric is going to be mastery grading. You're going to click on create, and you'll do that for every single standard that you have put on this, right? Now remember, if you're putting them just to put them, I would recommend strongly that these are the standards that you will adhere to for the rest of the semester, because you can definitely change them, absolutely. However, you'll have to do this process all over again when the semester begins. So take a minute and look over your standards, and if you're 100% sure that these are it, then awesome, let's move on, right? So at this point in this folder, once you're finished, you should have about not 10, that's too many, 5 to 7, I think is what we said, 5 to 7 assignments here, right? And what this actually does is align your gradebook. So when you click on your gradebook, if you click here on the materials in the category, I cite strong evidence, now you'll see the assignment here. And this is the column that is the most important, because this is where you actually give your grades, and that's where the computer knows what grade to calculate for your student, right? So for example, if I were to give this student a 3, it'll calculate what the grade is. If I give this student a 1, it'll calculate the grade. If I give this student a 0, it'll calculate the grade, right? So for every category that you have one main column. That's where you're going to assign the grades for every single student for every single category. When you have your assignment, you'll create your assignment and align it to whatever standard you want to give. So for example, right, let's go back to that materials box. And I have an example homework number 1, right? When you create your assignment, this is your assignment, you'll have whatever due date you want, and you're going to label it the category where that assignment fits in. So for my example assignment, it fits in the strong evidence one. You're going to change the factor to 0, and I'll show you why in a second. And you're going to change it one more time to mastery grading. Okay. You're going to click Save Changes. And you're going to go back to your gradebook. And you'll notice that now in that category, you have one assignment here. This example homework number 1 falls into eyesight strong evidence. Now, the reason that we put the 0 as a factor is because this is the grade, this is the column that holds all that information together, right? So if this student got a 4, this student got a 3, and this student got a 1 on that homework, it doesn't necessarily affect the grade until you put a grade here, right? And you'll do that with all the assignments. So in theory, when you have more than one assignment here, right? Maybe you have 3 or 4 that fit into this category. You'll look at all the data and say, okay, this person got a 4, a 3, a 2, a 1, and you will assign your final grade for that. If this student got straight 4s, they're going to earn a 4 in this category. If this student earned straight 3s, that student's going to get a 3 in that category. If this student earned a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4, I would give that student a 2. And you'll notice that it calculates the grade, and you have it there, and then you can decide what grade you're going to give your student. Okay, cool. Congratulations. You have your gradebook set up.